Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Journey of an Awakening Spirit. This is Kathleen Flanagan, your host, and we are streaming on the Bold Brave TV network. The purpose of the show is to help you realize that you are not alone. You are in control of your life. It does not matter what your lot in life is or where you came from. We have all felt pain, suffering, hurt, abandonment, loneliness, hopelessness, etc. This show helps you to take those dark moments and turn them around to create a whole new you. We were taught to be a certain way, act a certain way, and to conform to society. Being socialized is not bad, but it can put constraints on us. The guests I bring on the show are telling you their story of where they came from, the obstacles they overcame, and where they are today. They are sharing the tools that they use to recreate themselves in their life. Some of the guests are still in their process, beginning a new process, comfortable in their process, or even reinventing themselves. They were They are giving you tools that they use to gain insight into themselves, to take control of their life, and become the person they are today. On podcast.kathleenmflanagan.com is a list of the guests that have been on the show with their contact information. I am aware that you may resonate with one or several of them. My desire is that this becomes a community where you have access to the people you wish to align with and utilize the tools that they have, as well as the tools being offered on kathleenmflanagan.com. I am a certified coach who can help you reach your dreams. I help you learn how to rely on and believe in your unlimited potential and power. I already know that you have experienced flashes of intuitive knowledge and big thinking that has you wondering, what if only. I'm here to stir up those innate knowing and self-trust already instilled deep within your soul. I help you to forge forward and when the old you would rather give up and turn back. Awakeningspirit.com is an aromatherapy-based company, and it offers alternative healing remedies that use natural and organic ingredients. We are offering a 40% discount by entering bravetv into the coupon code. The products are guaranteed. If a product is not working, please contact me and I will reformulate a blend specifically for you. Grandma'sNaturalRemedies.net is a CBD company that uses essential oils in every blend and either has broad spectrum or an isolate. Every product is tested and the lab results are on the website. We are offering a 20% discount by entering bravetv into the coupon code. I start the show every week with sound from the tuning forks, and I bring in love, happiness, and balance. This sets the tone for the show and brings forth the best in both my guest and myself. Let's begin. That was the cat. John Morley is a serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, talk host show, and president of My Local Chamber of Commerce, which is a 501c3. And he gives me lots of websites for you guys to go to, which we will get to down the road. And also he is happy to interview with clients and people to talk about from all parts of the world who are thought leaders, innovators, celebrities, and authors. So welcome, John Morley.
How are you, Kathleen? It is a privilege, pleasure, and honor. I know it was a while. We talked back, and now we're finally here. It's great to be here today with you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that I know, because we had a change in schedule a couple of months ago, and trying to fill in on a busy calendar sometimes can be a little challenging for both of us. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about your journey of becoming an awakening spirit?
Well, the thing I want to tell you, and I might have not said this before, so I am very religious. And I have to tell you that as I've gotten deeper in my faith, I've been able to connect and realize that when things happen a certain way, they happen for a reason. And I didn't realize that. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like, the sky's falling. The sky's falling. I'm like, okay, like I like just help me. I talk to my angels in the morning, and I have a couple I talk to. One is actually Saint. I start off with a couple of them. So one of them is actually Saint Anthony. Then it's Saint Jude, and Saint Joseph, and then it's Saint Michael. And I'm like, hey guys, you got to help me here today. I mean, I know, like the sky's falling. Just like help me get through today. That's what I'm asking you to help me get through today. And I don't know. It's like in the last couple of years, Kathleen, um, my desires of where I want to go are great, but it's like I feel like I'm getting led. Like I never felt that before. I felt before like I was here and I wanted to get there, but there's nobody getting me there. Like I keep missing the boat. And I'm like, well, I was here. I'm waiting for the boat. Now it's like I'm getting on the boat. The boat may not be getting out as fast as I want, but I am getting on boats. And I'm starting to make connections that are, I got to believe, happening for a reason, for a purpose. And that really excites me. I'm a serial entrepreneur because I'm an engineer. I started an IT and tech company, which is about 33, 34 years young, coming up this December. And I have to tell you that I never realized that I'd become a serial entrepreneur. That wasn't even my dream back then. I had hired a large marketing and advertising company without giving their name. Unfortunately, they're still in business ripping people off. And I realized I can't do this anymore 6 years ago. So I fired them. I went to Xerox and I said, hey guys, I've been a client of yours for years. How do I become a mom and pop print shop? Because these people can't even print their way out of a paper bag, like, let alone market my business. Like, please give me some help. And they said, John, it's real simple. It's 150. Just so I reached in my pocket. I was so proud. I gave him $150. He goes, no, John, 150,000. They said, I'm going to have to talk to my bank. I talked to my bank. Long story short, my bank says yes. I said, there's something wrong with my bank. And they said, when do you want the money? I'll just fast forward. They were supposed to give me 150,000, which they did give me. But I decided to get my first entrepreneurial cap on. And when I went to them, I said, guys, I apologize. I didn't get the full 150. Well, how much did you get? I only got 130. Oh, I said, so what do I owe you for the dinner and the lunch? I just want to pay you back because it's obviously I'm going to be a waste of your time. Now, I knew what I was doing. Funny thing, when I told them I was 20,000 short, they had a rebate that was happening on Monday that they were able to roll in today. If I was able to do something by next week, that it would include everything, the taxes all in for 20K less. And I said, wow. So he said, you want to sign? I said, well, I got to think about this. This is a lot for me. This is a lot for me to digest. And so I went home, came back on Monday morning. I said, I realized something. I said, I can't afford the training. How can I buy 150,000 or even 130,000 on a machine if I don't have training for it? I've never done this in my life. I'm an engineer. I'm not a printer. And so I went to him and I said, I got to be truthful with you. I can't take this machine. He says, why not? I don't have the money to pay for training. He said, what do you mean? Well, you told me training's like another $30,000 or $40,000. I don't have the money. Hang on a minute. You want coffee? You want donuts? They always ask you if you want coffee, you want donuts, you want bagel. Sits there, runs over to the, comes back. I was like, you're in luck again. I said, how am I in luck? I was 20,000 short. I can't afford the 40,000 training. He said, I forgot to tell you that if you do a deal with us this whole week, we're throwing in $40,000 worth of training, which is 2 weeks of professional training at your location. Whoa, I couldn't say no anymore, Kathy. It's like, I guess I'm supposed to say yes. And so I said yes, got the machine, failed for 2 years. But when I walked into this large marketing advertising company and I had to tell them that we're done, it took me 45 minutes to politely tell them that we're done with them. And I had to bluntly come out and say, like, we're done, like, you're fired. And I'm trying to say it nicely. And that's when I realized that I'm supposed to be more than just an engineer. I love engineering. So I built a print production, graphic media design company, and I got very passionate into one area that I've always loved my whole life, which is creating content. I always loved doing keynote speaking. I said, I think I gotta do something with this. I think I have a voice. I've always had a radio voice, but I said, I think I've got a mission to bring my message to the world in a little tiny podcast. So I started a tech podcast. Then I started a motivational podcast, which is Inspirations for Your Life. And I just recently started another show called Behind the Mic Raw with John C. Morley on Saturday nights in New York. So I did this not for any reason, but to tell people my story. And I always say people might like me, they might love me, they might hate me. I don't care. I'm going to keep going on. I'm going to keep doing what I do because I'm not harming or hurting anybody. And that's all that anyone could ever ask of you. If you want to reach your desires, your dreams, no one has the right to make you feel inferior about yourself except for you. So don't do it. And in the last year or two, I've had some challenges. We had the COVID thing happening a few years ago. Things started to click, Kathy. I can't explain it, but things that I was trying to do for, let's say, 10 or 12 years. For example, I was trying to hire a developer on my team to create this new product that I've been working on for a while, but no one had been really working out. And I didn't have the time to do it. Well, just a few weeks ago, I found this guy, and he's like everything I've ever wanted. And he just like popped up onto my grid. I'm like, where'd this guy come from? Where have you been 15 years ago? I've been looking for you. And so I think sometimes you just have to be open to the fact that maybe it might not be what you exactly want, but it might be something better. So I decided to say, hey, universe, look, this is what I want. You know what I want to do. Give me this or give me something better. I'm open to it. I'm open to anything you want to do with me. And then I started just allowing that to happen. Like I said, I talked to my angels and different things and just saying, hey, just help me through this day. Help me get through what I need. Help me just take this next step. And I also started this past year training to become a runner. And, running's hard, but if you can just get me to the next step, I just need to take that next step. I only need to take the next step. I don't need to get through the whole run. I just got to take the next step. And that's what my life has been like in business areas. I just got to take the next step, not worry about all those other steps.
I can identify with that. I have this speech that I put together, and I'm going to share this because this is like for the last week. I've been running, like all this information, connecting with spirit, talking to them, and moving in that direction because I'm listening, right? Just like you're saying. And then all of a sudden you hit this wall and you're like, well, what just happened here? And you're just dumbfounded. And I figured, okay, part of it is that I pushed myself, where are my boundaries? And then every night I've been just saying the same thing. What's the next step that I need to do? What is it that I'm not seeing? Because I don't feel like I'm resisting anything. I just feel like something's not quite right. And so when I was on a call today, I kind of went back to, maybe this is where I need to really dial in is the happiness factor. Like go out and have fun because all weekend I've been pruning in my yard. I've been grounding. I've just been not thinking about business at all. Just I'm in the moment. I'm in my backyard. I'm in the front yard. I'm weeding, pulling rocks, planting plants, that kind of thing. And then what was it that I got this morning? Happiness. What is it? What makes you happy? How do you stay happy? And I thought, I started out that way and somehow I diverted. I think this might be part of what you're saying too. I mean, for me, because I've been asking, what is it that I need to dial in to get people's attention?
I love that. And the other thing about being happy is, our whole life, I don't know if you can relate to this, but we always want other people to make us happy. Whether you were in grammar school, whether you're in high school, whether you're in a relationship, platonic, non-platonic, I'm not happy because she didn't make me happy. He didn't make me happy. I tell people, look, you are already complete enough. You don't need somebody else. They can enhance your life, but you're already complete and you got to make yourself happy. Like, I take myself out to dinner. I go, why are you doing that? Well, I'm making myself happy. Yeah, well, that's crazy. I said, but I'm my own best friend. I take myself out. We do all kinds of great things. You're nuts. Well, maybe I'm nuts, but I'm happy. I'll take myself for a great dinner or I'll go to a concert. I'll go here. Like, who'd you go with? I'm like, I went with me, myself, and I, but I only paid for one ticket. So being happy sometimes becomes elusive for some people because they're like, hey, I want to be happy, but I think happy to some people, I don't want to say that monetary is bad, but we can't put all of our eggs in monetary. We have to realize that it's about us, it's about the people we connect with, it's about the experiences. Where the name of my show came from, Inspirations for Your Life, is every day for me is an inspiration. I get up, I'm so happy to be here. And if I can just help one person, just one person watching my show or watching the show tonight, become a better version of yourself, then I'm living my mission. Of course, I want to do more than that, but just to make one person's life change, to give them that positivity. I mean, we all know when we get up and some people, they stub their toe. And what do you do when you stub your toe? You spiral down. Oh my gosh, my toe hurts. You say a few other choice words. You burn your arm in the shower. You come out, you have a drink, you spill the milk all over the floor. You break the bowl. Now you get it all over your pants. You got to change. You're late for work. You get to work. You're late for a client because some big client's coming in. You didn't know they were coming in. They came to surprise you. And frankly, they say, you know what? If this is the way you run the company, we don't want to do business with you. And so I think our attitude, I always like to say, is something really cool because our attitude actually helps determine our altitude, how high we go. Maybe something's not going right, but be grateful for what you have and be grateful for all the things that are going on in your life. I start every day of my life with John's alphabet of gratitude, and I just pick a couple letters of the alphabet and I feel the letters. I feel them from my heart. I feel like A for abundance, and you got to feel it. And if you don't feel it, it's just words. So a lot of people are like, oh, John, that doesn't work for me. It works for you, but doesn't work for me. Yeah, but I'm just like you. No, but I don't have a show. Well, you could have a show. No, but I don't know how to do all that kind of crazy stuff you do. And what I tell people is that it's your mindset. And if you change your mindset, you change your outcome. Einstein said something, Kathy, a long time ago, and he's really smart. He said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you're expecting to be happy. You got to change what you're doing. You got to change your outcome. You got to change what you focus on. You got to change your activities. You got to change your mind, my friend. And you're going to get people, though, that are going to just be like, well, I can't do that. And so I say, you know what? You're entitled to be miserable. That is your choice. But you see, I don't want to be around somebody like that. Nothing personal. So if you don't change your ways, I don't really want to hang with you anymore. It's nothing personal. It's just you're starting to rub on me, and I don't want that. So I think we have to know that. We also have to know something I was just talking about last night. My show this week is about the power of starts and stops. And so every day I take a granular piece. And last night we talked about the fact that you got to know that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to other people. Well, I want to be nice. Yeah, but it's not about being nice. It's about doing what's right for you. So be a little selfish. Okay, yes, you can give to your charity, but don't deplete your cup. Don't deplete your energy. Because if you do, you won't be able to help yourself. You won't be able to help others. It took me a long time to learn that, Kathy. I figured, I just got to help everybody else. And, I'll come later. Yeah, you'll come later, but there's nothing left for me. Helping neighbors. I was realizing several years ago, I was helping neighbors, younger and older. Oh, can you help me this? Can you fix this? Can you fix it? So I go down 5 or 10 minutes. Figure it's no big deal. I'm there 4 hours. Oh, you want a sandwich? I'll take it to a restaurant. And I start to realize, what am I doing? I get home at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what am I doing to myself? Why am I doing this? Why am I letting them abuse me? So I said, look, next time they call me down, I'm going to say, oh, you're not really busy, right? You're just doing like your show or something, right? But you're not really busy. Like, well, yeah, I'm getting ready for a show. Yeah, but you could do that anytime. I said, well, yeah, but I have to finish it. Yeah, but you could come down afterwards, right? You won't be doing your show all night. Well, no, but I believe, yeah, but you could come down. So finally I came back and I said, yes, I could. And I have some other things I need to do. Oh, and by the way, you needed me to fix something. I normally charge for that. So I'll be happy to come down for 5 minutes. And if I'm more than 5 minutes, I'm going to start the clock and I'm going to start charging you by the hour. I'll give you a discount, but you're going to need to pay me for my services. Oh, you know what, John? Don't even worry about it. I'll get somebody else to help me. Okay, no problem. You see, and I think we have to realize that we are worth more than we give ourselves credit
Mhm.
for. When you start believing that you're worth more money, when you're worth this, when you're worth that, things start to come into your pathway. But it doesn't happen overnight. Your energy is what brings these people into you. We're all connected. And so when you have a great attitude, it just brings people to you. And I think a lot of people are like, well, John, you don't know my situation. No, I don't know your situation. But I do know that what you're focusing on is what you keep getting. So keep focusing on that, and you're going to keep getting the same thing over and over. You're going to get more of what you don't want. Oh, but it won't work for me. You don't understand. I'm in a second divorce. I don't care what you're in. Change your mind. Think about what you do want. And that's the hardest thing for some people, that they have to realize that. But when I started to connect with the journey, and the journey of just praying, and the journey of like, oh God, oh Jesus, like, this is where I am today. I don't know how I'm going to get through my day. I really don't. Just like make this work, or get this to connect right, or put me in the right contact, or I've got these people and they're very critical, or what do I do? And then somewhere a doorway opens. They've said this a long time ago: when the door closes, a window opens somewhere. But we have to believe that it's going to happen. Belief is it. Claude Bristol Myers taught us that many, many years ago. So if we believe that something's going to happen, it will happen, because our RAS, our reticular activating system, which is part of us at birth. If I asked you right now, Kathy, what color car do you drive?
Burgundy.
Okay, I drive a white car. Doesn't matter what kind of car. But if I said to you, Kathy, are there a lot of burgundy cars on the road?
Yes.
Okay, if you ask me, John, are there a lot of white cars on the road? Yeah, there's more white cars than burgundy cars. Now, who's right, who's wrong? It's not about that. It's about what we're focusing on. Now, you come over here, you're going to see all these burgundy cars. I'm going to say, well, there's a lot more white cars. See, it's what we're focusing on. And so when we focus on positivity, well, we get those opportunities to connect with that. Oh, well, gee, it's just going to happen again. I'm just going to have this problem again. I have that problem again. And you get more of what you don't want. And we laugh about it. But the reason I love my show and doing it so much is because not only do I empower others, I empower myself doing the show.
Yeah.
I never realized that, but I'm getting an extra bonus for free. I'm teaching other people, but I'm getting that good feeling back.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that, you know, uh, your attitude is not something you switch on like a light switch. You've got to keep the energy flowing. Wherever our thoughts are right now or going, that's where the energy is going to flow.
Yeah.
And then people always pray, or they always connect with source when they have an emergency. And so what I like to say is, look, I don't have an emergency today, God. I'm just talking to you, St. Anthony. I'm talking to you, St. Jude. I'm talking to St. Joseph. I'm talking to St. Michael. Oh, and by the way, let me say a few Hail Marys too today. And just help me, strengthen me, guide me on my path, protect me from evil, from danger, from people that are trying to damage my path. Allow me to reach what I need to do to become a better version of myself, to help others become better versions of themselves. And please, please shield me from any negative people. Shield me from people that may be jealous or maybe just don't believe in my pathway. Don't harm them, but please just gently take them out of my path.
I love that. I just love that because that is exactly what I do. I mean, it's you want to do that. When I realized that I was in control of my happiness, that anything, it's no longer anybody's doing anything to me because I was always playing a victim role. And I used to say I'm not a victim, but yet I would talk like a victim.
Yeah.
Oh, God's mad at me because, my basement flooded. What did I do wrong? And why am I being punished? And woe is me. And develop that Eeyore attitude. And when I decided that my happiness was so much more important, the next time the basement flooded, I was like, oh, well, here we go again. What do I have to do now? And I decided I didn't have to be overwhelmed. I didn't have to be anything. And it was like, okay, guys, tell me what I need to do because I don't know what to do at this moment. So I
Mm-hmm.
need guidance. Yeah, call the insurance company. Is like, well, we don't do indoor water losses like that, from, water intrusion or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, who do you know? And you just start asking questions. And that's like how I got through it, because what was the main factor for me? My happiness is number one. My mindset is I will figure it out. I will find it so it's not a $25,000 bill that wouldn't correct the problem.
Right.
And I will get it dealt with at a decent price, which I did. And,
Mm-hmm.
most of it's we're doing the work. But the way I took it is, well, this is my foundation. This is my foundation of my home, of my spiritual being, of where I'm going. My foundation needed more support. And that's how I interpret it. And whatever it takes to make that day go to the next level, because even though it was hard work pouring concrete around the house and all that, and I did it myself, I
Mm-hmm.
did
Oh, wow.
I know. And, it's maybe not the best job, but I don't care. It was my job. And I chose to do it because I felt like I was on a mission from God. It was like, this is what I need to do, is I need to know how to like rebuild my foundation, because it was on water, so to speak. It was on an emotional
I love that. I love
beingness
it.
of who I am, because it was water, and that's emotion. So as the water's
I
coming
love
up
that.
and doing all this stuff, it's like, okay, I have to rebuild it. Okay, and what do I need to do? Well, let's put concrete around to stop the water. We know we got and drain it away. Do this, do this. And then it was like, and then it turned out that what I thought it was really just a premonition of what was coming into my life, which was a good thing. Like it
Yep.
was a
Yep.
forefront of things coming in, and it's a matter of changing our perception and just trusting in a process, staying happy, waiting for an answer to come in, because it will come in. It just may not be in our time. But what is our time? Our time is God time. So I figured, okay, well, I'm just going to keep doing what needs to get done. When an answer comes up, I'll take that next step to fix the problem. Once that's done, if like, well, I have to do the next step. What's that? Well, the next step would be this. Okay, let's go do that. And that's how I did it. Exactly how you're talking about is just take that one step, one baby step into that next place, because every step we take, the universe is taking 10 towards us, and we don't believe in that.
I never believed that before, Kathy. Years ago, I never believed that. But
Well,
I'm
we're going to go
slowly
ahead and
buying
take
into that Kool-Aid.
Okay, John, we're going to go ahead.
Sure.
We're going to have to take a break in a couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and do it now, because I want you to carry on the conversation, because I know you got something good to say.
Sure.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Journey of Awakening Spirit.
How
This
are
is
you,
Kathleen
Felix?
with the Journey of an Awake. This is Kathleen and we're streaming on the Bold Brave TV. And we have John Morley in the room. And this is Felix. Everybody knows that Felix is here. And I was telling John he's been here all the time. So there he is.
Very cute. Very cute.
Yeah. So, John, go ahead and continue on where you left off when you
So,
said you didn't believe in what I said at one point.
yeah. This just happened. A small thing just happened, but that's how they happen. Little small things, and then you believe, and then they get bigger. Well, I was looking for a good deal on a car, so I leased my car. My car's lease was up, and they were playing crazy just numbers, and I said I just refused to do it. So they all kept calling me, and I said, "Well, this is what I want to spend. This is the car I want. This is exactly what I want to do." And I said, "You know what? I'm not going to let them abuse me like I always do. This is the seventh car I've gotten from this one particular place, and it was this car I always really like a lot." And so I sent them an email, and I said, "Hey, I said, look, I said I don't want to waste your time, my time. This is what I want. This is what I can put down. This is the title and taxes, and this is the most I'm willing to give you. If you can't do that, then let's just say goodbye and let's not waste our time." I got an email back within 5 minutes saying, "Well, we can do it for this." I said, "That's a little out of my. That's not what I asked you." I said, "Tell you what, you take that number down. I want that number to be a little more even, make it flatter. I'll do it. Do it for this number." I said, "I'll tell you what, if you can do it for that number, you throw in all my mats, my front and my back mats, put everything in there, all winter weather mats. I will give you a deposit tonight, and I'll pick the car up tomorrow. That is, if you want to get rid of the car. Or I can just wait, because, I can keep month to monthing. I don't really need a new car. I can just keep renewing my month, and they keep giving me more miles." He goes, "So you don't want to do that?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Car's fine." I said, "No reason to get a new car." I said, I'm 6 months over, but there's no reason to get a new car. I'm under my miles anyway." And so he was like, they don't like when you use that ammunition. Like, I don't need. And when you say you don't need something, here's something else the universe does. When you say I don't need, a lot of times the universe doesn't hear the word don't. So when you say I need this, I need that, the universe like amplifies that. But it also can work in reverse, because if you say, gee, I need, and you're focusing on the need and you're not really focusing on the reason. So I said, here's what I want to do. I want to get this car again. Universe, if this is what you want me to do, then make the deal happen. If not, I'll just be patient. I'll wait 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And he comes back to me, and the deal was done, and picked up the car the next day. Now, I couldn't have planned that. But it was funny because about 6 months ago, I said, you know what? I'm getting a new car before June. What happened? I just got it on, literally, it was just Thursday last week. And I said to myself, I'm getting a new car before June. Didn't know how I was going to do it. And I think the biggest thing, and this even happened with my parents too, they see me on the air all the time. They're like, you're nuts going on the air all the time. You do all this crazy things. You're nuts. I said, well, you don't have to support what I do. Well, just like, you're just doing a lot of stuff. I said, yeah, but I like it. And they slowly have started to appreciate it. But I was like, I don't care whether you appreciate it or not. I was like, I'm still going to do it. Like, you're not going to get me to stop doing it. I have a gentleman coming on. In fact, I told them this because we were at a flag, my chamber. We were doing a wreath laying, and the senator from our state was there. I had a conversation with him, and I said, I don't suppose you'd want to talk about motivation on my show here in New Jersey. I have a small little audience, and would you like to come on my show? He goes, absolutely. He says, I'll be on this week. I said, well, no, we're booking a few months out, so like, we'll reach out to you. It'll probably be like closer to like August or September. Okay. Well, just reach out to me when you want. And here I am asking a senator to come on my show, which, I mean, I've had other celebrities, but the thing is, things just sort of fall the right way. Now, I couldn't have planned that. And then he says to me, oh, John, he says, here's my card. I said, well, I'll call you. He said, no, do me a favor. Don't call my office. He said, I'm going to give you my personal cell phone. Call my cell phone when you're ready. He says, and I'll make sure I put you on my calendar. I didn't know what to say. I said, what if you're at the Senate and doing something? He said, that's all right. He said, other people bother me. He said, if you call me at the meeting, he says, I'll still talk to you. He says, I only have to make a quick vote. And you just can't make this stuff up. But when something goes wrong that appears negative or appears like it's not right, like I had another gentleman, something happened. My landlord tripled my rent, so we moved to another location. And, sometimes the best things that happen are that. And I remember when we left, I wrote the gentleman a letter. I said, I want to thank you so much for helping me become a better version of myself and helping you become a better version of yourself. I said, and teaching me how, as I grow and become more wealthy, that I should never treat other people regardless of their income. He didn't know what to say. He just looked at me like, you're nuts. And just different things like that, little different nuances, people I connect with, and just really being grateful for any little thing that I get, whether it's a piece of bread, whether it's being alive, uh, whether it's just to get a thought to do something. I'm grateful for this new developer that I brought on. I never knew he was going to be good, because I've gone through so many. And I say little things like, hey, I think you're doing a great job. I said, I hope you'll stay with us. He says, I plan on staying with you forever. So you never know when the universe is going to give you somebody who is going to work. And the funny thing is, what I wanted him to do was exactly what I wanted other people to do. And I hadn't even told him yet. And he like saw right into my vision, oh, you want to do it like this? I said, yes. He says, okay. And so one of our big things that we've been working on for a very long time, we have a team that does website stuff, but we don't like to use other products. We like to write our sites from scratch, which we do. The problem is that it's very time consuming. So one of my big things I wanted was to write our own web content management system, which is almost finished. And I said, well, we're actually going to finish this. Now, we've been trying to do this for over 7 years. Wow. And every time we try, it never goes anywhere. So I just said, universe, if you want it to happen, great. If you don't, I'll just keep doing things the way I do it. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, half of this is done already. I was like, we've been trying 7 years for this. So I think that's the part that gets me excited, Kathleen, is the fact that, when you're trying so hard to get something done and it doesn't happen, I'm like, all right, you know what, universe, whatever you want to happen, you're the boss. You know what I want. You know where I want the ship to go. If you want to take me on a side path before that, so be it.
I I believe in that too because this was interesting, and I made a decision that things aren't supposed to be hard. We make them
Okay.
hard, but they're not
You're right.
supposed to be.
You're right.
And so, and I came to a big realization because I was in my heart for space for a while, and then I thought, okay, well, this is where I think I should go because everybody's saying I should do this. So I decided to do that. And then when I started researching, it was like it kept getting harder and harder and harder. And I thought, this is wrong. This is just wrong. You're in your head. First of all, you're in your head. You're doubting everything because everybody's telling you XYZ. And now you got all confused and you just put yourself like flattened yourself out because you're like, well, what the hell did I do? And why did I do this? And where did I go? And blah, blah, blah. And you do the head trash. And I
Yep.
came to the realization of, and somebody said this today on this call, and I'm actually living it, is if you stay in a place of calm and trust,
Mm-hmm.
everything's going to work out. And I'm thinking, yeah, because technically where I'm at right now in a financial situation of what didn't happen earlier this month, I should be in going into dire straits. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm taken care of. I'm protected. And I believe that with my entire being. I believe that. And everything keeps like the money always seems to show up for what I need when I need it. Always. It's been like over this month, it's like, and I'm like, well, why are you stressing over little things? And I'm thinking, well, am I stressing or is it just this habit? Because we are habitual creatures. So
Yep.
we keep doing things out of a habit. So it's like, okay, well, maybe this is an opportunity to break a habit. So
Mm-hmm.
I okay, if that means I have to sit and do nothing and kind of just be still and do my gardening or whatever I need to do to like change the neurotransmitters, rewire my
Yep.
brain,
Yep. Yep.
then
Yep.
why not do that? Because a lot of times we just do things automatically and we don't think. And even though I'm conscious, there's still habitual habits going on that I'm becoming more and more aware of. So that's what I love is that you keep saying how much you're breaking your own habits in your own thinking. And even though people may not understand it, it doesn't matter what they think or how they feel. It's you. This is your life, what you choose to do. And you're breaking habits to become the best version of yourself as you can be, as I'm doing the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. That is the part that if you asked me this even 2 or 3 years ago, even before COVID, I got to tell you, I'd be like, you're nuts. There's no way you could be. So I'm just like, I decided I'm just not going to figure it out anymore. I'm just going to accept the way it is and just go from there.
And that's what I think I'm doing too, where I'm, a little bit of head trash going on. And today I'm thinking, no, I'm being guided the way I needed to be guided. And I need to sit back and trust that. If I want things to fall in my lap, that means
Mm-hmm.
I have to trust that and stop this, do whatever. Because if it's not in my lap yet, then it's not time. So what do I need to do? First of all, maybe I have to raise my vibration. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, if I'm out in my garden getting my backyard, that little oasis I want to, so I bring that serenity and peace in my home, then that's what I do. If that's making me happier, that means my vibration's going up and I'm grateful that my yard looks prettier and I've got answers and we've done all the things we need to do to get things taken care of. And I'm thinking that's all I need to do because right now that's it. What I want to accomplish, I see it, I'm holding the vision, I'm still excited about it, but that doesn't mean it's here yet because it's not time yet.
You mentioned something very important, Kathy, which is holding space. You've got to hold space for what it is you want. So when you hold a space for something, it's like if you ever did a puzzle before, the puzzle pieces just sort of flow in. When you hold space for this, like I'm holding space for a new car, I'm holding space for it. Don't have to get it yet, but I'm holding space for it right now. I'm holding space for a new office. So I'm holding space for it. I'm holding it. When it shows up, it shows up. And that's been a very interesting thing for me. I did that with a new client of mine that I was trying to get for, I don't know, maybe 6 years. And they were a large medical facility and for a PR contract. And when they reached out to me, I was like, okay, I said, if you want to talk, talk. But I really didn't put any much into it. And then I met the doctor who knows me very well. Just, well, John, why don't you get started with this? Why don't you just get me the quotes? So I get the quotes, and I say, nothing's going to probably come of it because this is like I'm doing all this work, I'm putting it all together, and they're going to be like, no. And so I speak with the person a few weeks ago at a charity event, and I say, oh, yeah, John, we want to get started. So, well, we need to get estimates signed. We need to get deposits. Okay, that's just small stuff. Well, we're talking about 14 brochures. We're talking about a lot of labor. We're talking a lot of print. Yeah, that's okay. You can get it done in a few months, right? Yeah. So it's funny how when you put less weight on something, like you don't care if it happens, it just sort of falls in your lap. Isn't that funny?
I think it's I think that's just the way the universe operates, because we're working in co-creation with the universe, with God, our source, whatever. And when we allow to receive, it's going to come in. Most of us stop that from coming in because we're not receiving. We give, we give,
Yes.
we give, but we don't receive. And it's a give and take thing with the universe. We have to give and receive. And that was one of the biggest things that I had to learn was receiving, because it's like, oh, no, I'm okay, leave me, it's okay, I'm fine. And then,
What was your pivot to make you to be able to receive? What did you do to allow yourself to be able to receive?
well, part of it is I ended up in Chicago, and I was out there and I had no family. I was meeting people, and I was living in this apartment that was very challenging because I was in a vortex. And there were people that just were there to support me, and I had to allow them to help me with getting orders out or help me understand what was going on. I mean, I asked for a lot of help, and then I was also finding my voice and establishing boundaries at that time. But I had to just, and Spirit would say, just do this. So, I mean, I can't tell you, I've spent almost an entire year in candlelight because it was the soft lighting that the angels wanted, and I
Oh,
did that.
wow.
Yeah, it was just because light can be very harsh for them. And I was in a small place. And so I did that. And because of that, they just kept showing me message after message after message that, like, oh my God, this is so easy to do. It was me who was in the way of everything. So that was the whole point of just, we have to just stop. And I literally had to stop because I kept trying to understand what was happening because there was so much going on in this apartment. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. Welcome back, everyone, to the Journey of an Awakening Spirit. This is Kathleen Flanagan, your host, and we have John Morley in the room. So, John, the only thing that I want to say, because we have to start winding down the show, was when I allowed myself to receive, my life got easier.
That's an amazing thing. I want to just tell you that it's your belief. So focus, a big thing that's been helpful to me is mindful meditation, studied hypnosis for a very long time, got certified. I think the mind, and then the other thing I did this year was I got heart brain certified. Now, without getting too involved with that, but it was the real truth about how to connect the heart to the brain. There's actually more connections between the heart and the brain than there are from the brain to the heart. The
Oh,
brain is the CFO of the body, the
yeah.
chief financial officer. The brain just works for the head boss, which you would think it's crazy, but so I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that life is an illusion, it's a perception. So we create in our reality what we already want to perceive. If we're bowling and we throw a strike, the way we throw that ball, we already perceive the strike. We already perceive what we want. If we put the notion in our mind, we already perceive that. We perceive the client saying yes. We perceive the relationship going well. when we perceive it wrong, we also cause our body to send out body language signals that we're not even aware of that actually shut the conversation down.
Hmm.
We don't even know we're doing it. But I would
That's
just, I know we're,
interesting.
what's that?
I said that's really interesting because I learned years ago, feel with your brain and think with your heart.
Yeah. So I take the method that I want to feel it from the heart. I want to use the brain to just get me into the space, but I don't let the brain do anything more than just show me the way in. Then I
Yeah.
say, okay, heart, take over. How do you feel? How do I feel good? How would I feel? Like maybe some people are having challenges trying to get wealth in their life. I want to ask you, everyone that's watching or listening, how would you feel if you had that check, that $1 million or that $20,000? But you have to remember that you've got to believe you're worth it. If a million's too much for you, okay, then how about an extra 5,000 a week? Could you do that? If you don't think you're worth that, then how about an extra 3,000? Work with you, and then it will become easier. People said the way to manifest money is start by manifesting a nickel or manifesting a penny. Everybody can manifest a nickel or a penny, then a dollar, right? And what we focus on will persist. I'll leave you with this. Nightingale Conant said this many years ago. We change our words, we change our thoughts. We change our thoughts, we change our mind, and that will improve the quality of our life. And that is what everyone wants today, isn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, that is exactly what everyone wants. They want a better version of their life, and they don't always think that they're in control of their life when we are. Even if we think that we would never have done this to ourselves, we did it. We did exactly this. Nobody made our life other than what we chose to make it to be. So if we have a
Exactly.
huge potential, then what is that potential? That means you get out of your mind, you get out of the ego, you get out of fear, and you trust.
You get out of
There
your
is,
own way. You get out of
yeah,
your own way
yeah, exactly.
and start
Exactly.
living
And
life.
the minute
You
you
can either
do that,
live
things
life,
start
you can either
changing.
thrive, in life or you can live. I don't want to live. I want to
No,
thrive.
yeah, I do too.
Living is just there. It's just we're just doing the motions.
Right. There's nothing worth, it's not exciting.
And that's where my slogan came from, which are my master website, which is believemeachieve.com, because we have to believe, and I would say believe me, but you have to believe before you can achieve.
Yeah.
And so believe me, and then just achieve. And so when you get that, you're like, wait a minute, this makes sense. Now I understand. You can't just have somebody tell you to do something, because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. People say, well, gee, can I just program you? And can I just, put affirmation? Yeah, but it's not going to be the same. If you truly believe in it, then it will embody you and it will transport you. But if you're trying to do something because of someone else, well, you're living someone else's life. So I always say this: don't live someone else's life, live your own life, or you'll be sorry.
That's true. So, John, how can people get a hold of you?
Very simple. They can just go to believemeachieve.com. There's lots of great daily content. There's TikTok, there's Inspirations for Your Life, there's the J Moore Tech Talk Show. We have the Behind the Mic Raw every Saturday night. And I'm always looking for great guests that have a story that they want to share, because I think what we've learned, Kathy, is that, sometimes we learn more when we have our guests on. It's like we learn from our guests. This is why I never realized this was like I get an extra bonus by interviewing guests. Like I didn't know that. And I'm very looking forward to having you on my show. I got your book a while back, so I'm going to start reading that. So very excited about that. And I think people just have to embrace life with this. And I would like to end with this thought, and that is, play like you were when you were a kid. And I use the example of taking bubbles and playing. And so when you play like you were when you were a kid, you're able to just be creative. You see, your mind shuts down as you get older because you're like, I can't, I can't, I can't, 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 can't. Instead of I can get better at this every single day, or I am getting better. You have to change your language, because your language will create a negative force field, but it can also create a positive force field. Document what you say for just a few days and watch that. And if you change that, you're like, oh my gosh, like, what did I do differently? You changed your language. Your body responds to language. So
And it's
check out all
just,
my great stuff, and I think you guys will really like it, because who doesn't want to improve their life, and who doesn't want to be able to know that there's something I can give you? I call it nuggets, and if you could take one of these nuggets I give you, and just one nugget could change your life, it's worth watching my shows.
very well said. Well, I want to thank you so much, John, for coming on the show today. I really do appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. I love the dialogue that we had, and very similar mindset thoughts that we both have with. And for the guests, thank you for watching. And if you like anything that you saw on the show today, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, or even send the link on to a family and friend if you found some value in it. I want to remind you that my books, Dancing Souls, The Call, The Dark Night of the Soul, and Awakened, are on Amazon.com, as well as KathleenMFlanagan.com. And on Amazon, the ebook for The Call is still free, since we did become #1. So it's still there. So go ahead and download a free copy of the book. Go ahead and check out Kathleen M. Flanagan for the list of services and products that are being offered. And there's a 3-minute de-stress meditation that is there for you, absolutely free. And again, Awakening Spirit, it has a 40% discount, and Grandma's Natural Remedies has a 20% discount. Just enter bravetv into the coupon code. And I will see all of you next week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And from my heart to yours, I hope you all have a fabulous week.